We're going to be talking about how do you get the most out of your managed service provider. So James, one of the things that we deal with as a managed service provider is trying to help the client get the best out of what we do. We want them to have a good experience, obviously,
Yep.
and to get the best from us.
Yep.
And there's a few things that I think that it helps on both sides if both the client and we understand how things fit together. And one of them being communication, I think, with the client.
Yeah, so that's a big one for me, especially. Frequently we get these messages saying, we need something done right now, ASAP. Isn't that your favorite term? ASAP.
ASAP's my favorite term.
And the reality is that everything we do is as soon as possible. That's just how we work. A managed service provider will have what's called an SLA, right? A service level agreement,
right.
Whereby we commit to certain response times based on the critical situation, based on the level of priority, let's say, of the call. So if it's something that's critical, meaning everyone's down, nobody can work, you can bet the whole team is going to respond to that right away and figure out what's going on and
that
get
kind
you.
of supersedes anything else.
Right?
Right.
That's urgent. You can't function. We get that, and we'll deal with that. But if someone's complaining about a printer they can't print to, but there's two others in the office, I'm going to kind of put that on the low priority level, and I'm probably not going to rush to that. So when someone says fix my printer ASAP, and I know there's two others, it might get me a little bit irate.
and do you have ways of determining what is the priority level of each ticket that comes in? What do you do to determine that?
Well, it'll be based on how many people are non-functional, let's say. So is it the entire company is down? Can nobody work? Can nobody access the database? Can nobody get on the internet? Things like that. Then we go down a level and say, is a critical person, someone maybe accounting, maybe the boss himself, is he down or she down? Can they not function? That's a different level than, if there's only a few people that can't print, but the rest are okay. Probably a lot less prioritized than something where nobody can print or nobody can use the internet.
Right. So it's pretty important how that gets prioritized.
Classified.
Yeah, and I'm assuming I know sometimes we'll have something come in that will be classified as high, but maybe it isn't, so it gets reclassified. It doesn't mean it's not going to get completed right away, but it has to fit in with all the
I
other
feel
issues.
I feel like what we consider high priorities versus what the customers sometimes do are not always in congruency.
Yeah, they may not be the same,
No.
but both sides have to understand that.
Fair enough. And if that's the only thing they're trying to do right now, it's kind of urgent to them,
right.
So we need to take that into account. Another thing that I think we say frequently is for getting them to get us involved with their process, right? Their budget, maybe, would we say that?
Yeah, absolutely. We can provide a lot of insight into that. Because we'll take a look at, for instance, what you have, inventory of machines, and if you're doing your yearly budget, you'll want to know, probably what you're likely to need to replace this year.
Yeah.
So we can provide a lot of insight into that in looking what you have, and also taking a look at what you're likely to do over the next year. Maybe it's increasing staffing levels. Maybe it's increasing, lines of business that may change how you do business, and we can provide a lot of help with that to make it easier for the business owner to make those decisions. So, getting us involved in any of that budgeting is only going to help the business.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, our monitoring tools, we're in them all day long, every day, and we see what's going on. We can get the configuration of the machines. We can see which ones are getting long in the tooth and such. The ones that are giving us grief quite a lot, running out of memory, running out of disk space, things like this. So if anyone would know what's going on with your stuff, it should be us.
Yeah, things that someone in the business itself they may not really be aware of all of that.
Yeah, and fair enough. How would they? They're trying to run their business. They're doing their own thing. What else do we think is critical that we should probably be involved with?
So I think sometimes people are afraid to question us on something, or to pose the question to us, and it really costs nothing to ask us a question.
Emails and phone calls are always free.
Yeah, so it's always best to get your questions out there, get them answered, and get us involved early. Sometimes we'll have a client that proceeds with something that is maybe working with some of the things that we do, but they don't realize it. And had they asked us first, it might help it to go a little smoother.
I know where you're going with that. Yeah, we've actually had a customer call us to say that on Friday, which was 2 days away, the voice over IP specialists are going to be coming into the office to install a new phone system, and this is the first we're hearing of it.
Yeah, get us involved early. Like the earlier the better, and then everybody has the appropriate time to plan, and whatever it is you're doing, chances are it's going to be a much smoother project than if you don't get us involved early.
Yeah, I mean, we're both on the same side of the table, right? We say that all the time, like we're your partners in this,
Yeah, we're on the same side of the boardroom table. That's how I always look at it. We have a vested interest in the client's success.
Yeah.
And because of that, we want that involvement so we can help them do better. And that's our value, really, is making their business run better through efficient IT systems.
Yeah, tools and some expertise, of course, on how to do things. And we're probably going to save them time in many aspects by just a few pointed questions. Did you think about this? What about that? I think that happens a lot to me, where I'm asking questions and things they hadn't thought of, which it's not their realm, right? How would they know that? So it's very important they get us involved. I agree with that. Budgeting we've touched on. We've touched on getting us involved with the different projects, the different new technology you're adding in. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we interface with quite a lot of different companies. This is where the virtual CIO comes from, where we kind of want to drive the bus on all the different things that happen in your environment. And so we would liaise with the web people, let's say, or the people that are coming in to do wiring for your computers at the new office, let's say. Things like this. They're either partners that we know and trust, or they're people that we've vetted because we've had a communication with them and we realize that they are quite capable of doing the job in question. What else could we think?
Well, just on that topic, I think that's very important that you get us involved with those third-party vendors, so we're aware of what's there, and we can make our recommendations and help you fuse with whatever technology that they're using so that it works better for you.
Agreed. Have you ever seen that situation where the partner's trying to bring in a device that they already own and they've already paid a bunch of money for, and these guys are going to switch it over, not in a malicious fashion, but it's just part of what their process is, not realizing that maybe there's one in place already?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, sometimes a third-party vendor either won't know the questions to ask, or won't realize what the client has, and that kind of thing happens all the time. So we like to be that one point of information on everything.
Agreed.
Because we generally have a good overall view of.
Is that your wife again? Are you late for supper?
Sorry.
Do you need help turning off your phone?
I do, actually.
So then I think we're going to strongly encourage our followers out there to get their IT guys, their MSP, their managed service provider, their computer nerd, whatever you want to call the guys.
No.
You don't like that term?
No, do not say computer nerd.
We want to get them to get us involved with all of the decisions they're going to make, the budgeting, all these things, new purchases, integration of stuff. I think that's the lesson here, is that our value is exactly that. It's our expertise, and it's the amount of things we're in touch with, right? We know about all your different systems and how they're going to function together. So I think that would be the lesson.
Absolutely.
So thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time on Let's Talk About It.